You reckon?
Yeah. I reckon the defence is what it is. I reckon the midfield is that plus Fabinho in for Gini if he's not injured. And everything else is, as is. Except for maybe Karius, he might start.
Karius. Took me a minute. Ian, talk to me. Pre-season, how do you feel it went?
It's just means to an end pre-season, isn't it? But it's hard not to be excited about Liverpool at the moment. They've got the players they wanted to get. The style of football they're playing just seems to be even more dynamic than it was last season, which I didn't think it could be improved upon. They've added to the squad. It's now just about getting to have we got another game on Tuesday?
Yeah.
That'll be at half pace because they're not going to go full tilt hardy 5 days before a game or whatever. So it's all about just getting through it now to the start of the season. I'm with Matt. I think that's the team will start. Maybe I don't even know if he'll start Fabinho. He might start Wijnaldum, but I think that back four will start because of the players coming back from the World Cup. The front three picks itself, obviously. I didn't see the game yesterday, but did Shaqiri start as the number 10 again?
No, he came on as a sub and he was
doing very well.
To be perfectly honest with you.
I said a couple of weeks back, I do think he'll feature in the number 10 role quite a bit. Or as the furthest forward midfielder, do you know what I mean? We're quite fluid, aren't we? But I never get too over the top of our pre-season. If we lost 3-2, I wouldn't care. If we win 3-2, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that. But you can see the atmosphere. I'll tell you what's impressed me more, like the little videos that are coming out about the camaraderie around the team and when they were at NASCAR and stuff like that. Like, Daniel Sturridge is probably the only black man they've ever allowed change a tyre in NASCAR. Do you know what I mean? But all of that was really good to see because it's not fake. You can't fake that team spirit. And then you see the initiation songs and they're all. It's really good, mate. And in terms of quality, it's the best squad we've had, I think, in 25 years. But in terms of them being together, I can't remember a team being so together, you know what I mean? All be singing off the same hymn sheet and all that. It's really exciting, man. It is really exciting. I will be devastated if we don't make a really good go for the Prem this year. I'm not saying we'll win it. I'm not saying we'll definitely win it, but I'll be devastated if we don't really go on and do something. And at least in the league and win a trophy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, expectations have to be high now after the summer business we've done. There's loads of people asking loads of questions there. We might get to that later, we might not. But for you, we've talked enough over the summer about the business we've done, but the pre-season friendlies, how do you feel they've went? How do you feel the squad have got on? Have you seen them? Have you seen enough to think, yeah, the squad's come together nicely for the start of the season next Sunday?
Yeah, listen, well, I'm lucky, and I don't really take pre-season. Don't take it too seriously because it really is just preparation and warm up. But I can't think of a better pre-season, and not only in terms of like results, forget the results, but in terms of the pattern of play, the setup, the new players all settling in, the camaraderie is second to none. It really, really bodes well. I'm with Ian. I'll be really disappointed if we don't put up a challenge. I'm flying. I want it to start this Tuesday. I know it's more of for the fans and a day out. I'm not sure if it's beneficial for Klopp and in terms of his sort of tactical plans and setup. I think it's more of just a friendly day out for the fans and for the new players, maybe to sample the atmosphere. But I want to go straight into West Ham and as I've said before, I really think we can take advantage of the other team's sort of big players not ready. So we make a good start. Anything is possible this year, and you know it really is. It really is. But easily the best squad for at least probably since the Rafa era. Maybe even better as a squad. I mean, I know Rafa's team was sort of the best 11, I think, or equally as good. But as a squad, I think we're even stronger now.
Oh, defo. Do you remember that squad? When Torres got injured, we had David and Go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, we've got Dumpson.
And now we've got
Thomas
Now we've
Solanke,
got-
yeah.
Yeah, but we've got Sturridge as well.
He's young. I didn't mean that. He's young.
But we've got Sturridge as well. Do you know what I mean? And Sturridge is,
Sturridge
even
has
though he's
got
made
10
out of
goals this
crisps,
season.
he's top draw when he's fit. If
Well,
he's fit.
we might touch on Sturridge depending on Gav's mood.
Oh, I'm in terrible humour, so we're definitely going to touch on him.
I've already embarrassed Gavin for that once. So.
No, you haven't. You tried to change the subject when I read the riot act to you. Let's start right. This week on the day trippers, you're going to have this tonight. You're going to have the Tuesday show, the Tuesday club, which is going to go through West Ham again. It'll be more different voices, and then on Friday you'll have the Cop Table making their debut on the day trippers as well. They'll be doing a full preview of the game, and that's what this week is all about, I suppose. But let's go. Let's look at, like you are all saying, the squad is really strong and the whole lot. If we're going into West Ham next week, he's going to start shedding a couple of players there that he's used in pre-season, but he's not going to use anymore. Let's be perfectly honest about it. Matt, I'll come to you first. We go round to everyone on all this, but we're lining up against West Ham next Sunday, and the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pick a goalkeeper and a fella on the bench.
Karius.
Karius. Did you see the game yesterday?
Yeah, mate, watched it all. It's a great game.
Yeah, and Alisson, how did you find it? You know,
a bit ropey. Great distribution.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't watch it, but I know what's going on about Alisson. And the thing is, before we signed Alisson, everyone says sign Alisson 50 million, and they think that will stop all errors and just solve all our problems. It's a fucking keeper. Every keeper in the world will make mistakes. We have to accept it and move on. It's about limiting the amount of mistakes, which, even though I am a Karius fan, I think he's a good keeper. Alisson's a better keeper, and the amount of mistakes will be less, which will mean more points, and that's what it's all down to. So I reckon Alisson will bring us an extra 10, 12 points per season, but he's still going to make mistakes. The thing is, the thing is, you can't.
I want to do the security gift there.
We've got to back him. When he makes a mistake, he's going to make a fucking mistake. And not even that. If he comes into Anfield, I know it's his home crowd, but it's fucking daunting going to Anfield, whether you're home or away. And he knows that because he's shipped a few goals there already. We've just got to get behind him. Keepers make mistakes. Fucking live with it and move on. We've signed him because his distribution is a lot better than Karius, even though Karius is very good, and he'll make less mistakes.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'll let you in now in a second. To be honest with you, Matt, I watched the whole game yesterday, and I think people are saying he was a bit dodgy. There was a shot that he probably should have caught. He went down to his right hand side. He actually went with it with one hand. It missed that hand, hit the second hand, and went down. But the point being, it didn't win the fucking goal. You know what I mean? Whereas we're used to keeper for years gone by now, when you don't get what the hand I meant to get to it goes in the net. It didn't go in. He was very composed on the ball. He hit one raking pass to Salah that actually set up the first goal. He caught a couple of corners. You could hear him. He was very vocal on the corners, and he was coming across and catching them. I have no issue there. It's going to be the big thing for me is, and it's probably not a big thing because he's on the bench, but who do you start on the bench as your goalkeeper? It's not going to be Mignolet. He's not going to be back. Does he give, in your opinion, Matt, does he keep Karius as number 2, or does he give one of the younger lads a chance to start on the bench against West Ham?
Absolutely not. It's a ridiculous question to ask. Karius is number 2, and Karius is the best number 2 in the country.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no even thinking about that. If Karius is committed, he stays number 2, and he's the best number 2 in the country, and he would be one of the best number 1s in the country. There's only about 3 keepers better than him in the league.
You're on heroin.
Yeah. Yes, he's clearly been out all day. Grizz, you wanted to jump in there. I'll move around a slight touch. Just your thoughts on Alisson yesterday, and then we're looking at a back 4 to start next week.
I just wanted to jump in on Matt's.
Yeah, go on.
I just wanted to jump in on Matt's point at the time where he said, sort of, look, every keeper makes mistakes, and we got to just give him a season. And I think the difference being this season will be, last season we weren't sure if it's going to be Mignolet number 1, Karius number 1, and then they were sort of battling each other. I think this season a couple of things will work in Alisson's favour. He knows he's number one. End of story. Klopp knows. The back four will know who their keeper will be every week. That makes a big difference. Alisson will make, of course he does. We all know keepers make mistakes, especially a foreign keeper coming into this league. It's a total different way of playing. But the guy has the same type of aura VVD has as a centre-back, if you know what I mean.
I agree.
So yesterday...
He commands his box, doesn't he?
Yeah. I said that last week, but you just presented your point. Come on.
Yeah, but
that's a great point, Chris. I like that.
I'm going to do it to you, so you could probably nick Gav's point. But the point is, he commands his area. It's about aura. I mean, did you see how many times the back four felt so comfortable in giving the ball back to him? Not even the back four. How many times even Milner just laid it off back to him first time? He's actually like an extra outfield player. Do you know when you play five? Well, you've not played side for years.
I'm going to let you go back to that point, right? I want the yes or no off the 40s or off the 3s and me, and when we put this to bed. Fekir, yes or no? Ian?
No.
No. Matt?
I think it gets done, yes.
Yeah. Grizz? Yes or no, Grizz?
No.
No. And I'll say yes. Right, so that puts that to bed because it's just questions popping up on the screen all the time with Fekir. Go on, Grizz, continue.
Yeah, so I think he has the same impact as a VVD, you know, in terms of how much lift it will give the whole team, his aura, his presence. As we've discussed before, the keeper situation, Karius was, in my opinion, too calm. He had a too calm a persona. Mignolet was the total opposite, with a fucking bag of nerves, and just stayed on his line. This guy, rightly so in my opinion, will grow into this role, and I really genuinely believe we have finally a world-class keeper. So it's all absolute bonus for me. And the main thing is, fuck it if he makes the odd mistake. We give him this season regardless. I couldn't give a shit who number 2 is. If it's Mignolet, Grabara, anyone, whoever it is, Karius, because he won't get a game. Alisson will play every single game, in my opinion. Even the cups and everything.
I'd give Karius the cups.
He won't get shit. This guy will play every single game, and Klopp will make sure he knows this is number one. Because it's all about giving confidence to the keeper. And you pay, wherever we paid for him, 60 million odd, he's the man. And he's going to have a VVD type influence.
I disagree with Grizz there, and I agree with you, Matt. I think Karius does get the cups. I think because there's only 2 trophies we're making a priority this season, and I think if we're in both of them come February, I think one of them might even be knocked on the head, and we go for one, and that'd be the league. Ian, pick me a back four for next Sunday.
The one I started against West Ham. So, Klein at right back, Gomez and VVD, and Robertson. I don't think that's the long-term back four. I think Trent comes back in for Klein when he's proper fit, and I think Gomez and Lovren. Gomez will play more games this season than people give him a thinking, do you know what I mean? But I think he'll develop well against VVD, or hopefully anyway. But I think Lovren will be first choice.
Yeah, Trent gets 45 minutes yesterday, which is interesting. I think...
Hang on a sec, Gav. Matt's saying stuff there and he's on mute, so let's just presume it was bollocks.
Let's just carry on. Let's carry on.
How am I? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Matt.
Hello. Sorry, mate. Carry on. Wait to make that really good point again.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all right. Keep it for next week. We won't be here next week, but keep it for next week anyway. Ian, Trent gets 45 minutes yesterday. I think he gets 45. I'm nearly sure he comes on at half-time. Do you not think the 3-0 game on Wednesday night would probably tell us a lot as to who would start? If he gets the edge ahead, gets picked ahead of Klein, say, on Wednesday night?
Possibly. I mean, me personally, I'd start Trent, because I don't think he's only young and he didn't play many minutes at the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? So he won't be out of shape. So I'd start him, because I think we're going to need more going forward than what Klein can provide. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not sure how much it'll tell us about Sunday on Tuesday, because it's so close to the game. He might start his starting 11, do you know what I mean? But he won't. None of them will come out for the second half, I wouldn't have thought. Because it's just, you just don't want to risk it. But knowing our luck, Alisson will take out VVD in the fucking 81st minute, and they'll both be out for the season.
Yeah,
because that's how we roll.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And then the transfer of Danny Ings will be cancelled, and then I'll fucking all hope. in mankind.
Yeah.
Grizz, Ian says there that he expects Gomez to play a lot more games. I'm going to put this to you. That worries me slightly. Do you see him getting the nod next Sunday to play?
Oh, definitely. I think he's ahead of Klavan for next Sunday. Lovren's not even back yet, and Matip's fucking bag of chips, isn't he? So yeah, and Shite as well. So Gomez definitely. I definitely think, and we've discussed this before as well. Definitely Gomez plays centre back this season, especially with Klein being fully fit. Trent did get how long did Trent get yesterday? 45 minutes.
I think it was 45, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of, and it was probably his worst 45 minutes ever, and absolutely natural. You know, he was totally rusty. I was hoping, in the back of my head, I was hoping that he comes on and shows that he hasn't played much and he's still fit and everything. And then if he gets another 45 against Torino, he may start. But watching him in that performance, I think Klein's guaranteed, to start right back in that first game. The same back four, I think, will start. Gomez will play a lot centre back this year. I think Gomez is the reason why we may wait until January to go for the centre back that we want.
Can I just say, right, do you know when we signed VVD, that's when Karius got brought back in the side, wasn't he? Because he had a big, massive calming influence there to help him integrate into the side. I think now's the perfect opportunity to play Gomez as a centre-half. He's got VVD next to him, and he's got a £67 million keeper behind him as well. He's got a left-back who ain't going anywhere for 10 years, and eventually he'll have either Trent, who's brilliant going forward, and Klein, who's brilliant defensively. He'll never, and probably Fabinho in front of him, he'll never have a better protection than what he's got right now.
Yeah, I agree with Ian there, but that's the reason I think Klein will play a lot more games this season than Trent, because Klein offers Gomez a lot more defensively than Trent.
Yeah,
I will bet you
Klein's going to play more than Trent.
I will bet you everything I own that Trent definitely plays more league games than Klein this season, unless one of them gets injured. Everything I own.
Okay,
at the minute, it's a bottle of
which is a 6-pack of fucking crisps.
It depends on how Gomez progresses. If Gomez is struggling, Trent's the better option next to him. Well, if Gomez comes in and starts owning the role, then Trent can come in easily.
Yeah, I just think watching it yesterday, and don't get me wrong, Gomez probably suits it best for tomorrow because Matip, fuck me, you need to get rid of him. Klavan is a left-sided defender, and I think that's where Van Dijk excels. Although he's a brilliant defender, I think left-hand side is his better side. Gomez suits everything better than, in the circumstance we're in. Just yesterday, it looked like Gomez wasn't kind of on the same wavelength with VVD. VVD, like, Shawnee was at the match, and he said, lads, you wouldn't believe how vocal Van Dijk is and how much he controls the defence and tells them what to do, and he's nearly telling the team where to go. But Gomez just looked a bit lost at times, and Napoli nearly got in 2 or 3 times with a little ball over the top, and luckily it was flagged offside. It was just Gomez not too sure of his position, so I think it'll be a bit more comfortable if we'd have seen them paired together for 4 or 5 games during the pre-season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Gab, do you know what it is? I think this issue's only going to be for the first month maximum. And I think eventually, once Lovren and Trent are back in training for a couple of weeks, I think he's going to make as less changes as possible to the back four. I think it's going to be the same back five. Keeper back four will be standard. I think where he's going to try to mix it up is going to be because we've got a lot of options in midfield now. And that's where most of our pressing and sort of running is taking place as well. So I think that's where the changes are going to be. I think this dilemma, what we're discussing about Gomez, Trent, Klein, I think it's just going to be a first few weeks. I actually think Trent's going to be first choice right back. Only if he's injured or needs a rest, maybe once in a while, Klein's going to come in. And Lovren's definitely going to be VVD's partner. Again, Gomez is going to get a chance to play in the odd game here and there. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a discussion after a month.
Matt,
I think the next month will tell you how much of a future Gomez has got as a centre-half at Liverpool.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If he excels in this month to the point where we don't want to drop him when Lovren's back, then he's done enough. But if it gets to the point where you're thinking, fucking hell, Dejan, hurry up and get back, then he's fucked at centre half. Gomez.
Matt, lads, there's a fella online there wants to know why you said that Grizz confirmed that Fekir is signed for Liverpool.
Is there a question?
Yeah, well, why did you tell people that Grizz had confirmed Fekir as a Liverpool signing?
Because Grizz DM'd me that exact information.
Oh, I knew he did, and I knew he was hiding something. Grizz, why did you hide that from us?
It was my troll account. It wasn't my account. Check it. Mine's verified.
Oh,
That account.
You are in your bollocks.
My account.
What a wanker.
Oh, I know. Now, the left back issue is there is no issue with Robertson all day long. You know, I think that's fairly solid. The midfield three is interesting. I'll come to you first. A lot of people are picking Keita, obviously. They were picking Lallana until he was a new signing, and then turned out his calf fell off during the week, so he can't play. He'll be a new signing in a couple of weeks. So, it's hard to pick a three, isn't it? I do think it's difficult to pick a three because I still think Fabinho looks a yard off it.
Against West Ham at home, you play Fabinho, whether he's a yard off it or not. My three is Keita. Is Hendo injured again?
No, he's back in training. He's back in training at AML, but I don't think he'd make the opening.
Oh yeah, all right. So I'll go Keita, Fabinho, and if we're playing Kleiny, then I'll be happy to put Shaqiri in there, sitting just off the right. Yeah, just sitting forward, just off the right.
He's nicked my point again. He's nicked my fucking point again.
No, he hasn't.
No, I haven't.
I hadn't even thought of that. No way you thought of that. Grizz is deactivating if Fekir doesn't sign as FIFA Pro. Yes, that's true. That's extremely true. Actually, no, it's not. The chances are he was to deactivate if Fekir doesn't sign, but there's been an agreement we've come to, which is even better. So watch out for that. But Fekir's signing by Thursday anyway. I've told you all that, and so was Matt, who heard it from Grizz. So Matt then told Twitter, you know, Matt, he's the nicest fella, and you're the nicest fella on Twitter, aren't you, Matt?
And on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
But he's a cunt on Snapchat.
Oh, he's awful on Snapchat.
Total wank for Instagram.
Oh, completely. Yeah, I tell you.
Absolute wanker.
Right, so Ian, midfield three for Sunday.
Anyway,
Matt's going with Fabinho. I probably wouldn't. I just think he looks that bit off. What's your feelings on the midfield for Sunday?
I think he'll go Wijnaldum, Keita, and depending on his Barney, Milner. If Milner's not fit, I think he'll start Shaqiri as well.
Shaqiri's done well, Ian, hasn't he? He's like in 2 games he showed, you know, his ability I don't think was questioned. People questioned his work rate, but even the way he adapts to this team is just, I think it's ridiculous for 2 games. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah,
man. Do you know what? I said before we signed him, I wasn't asked either way. But then as soon as we signed him and I seen him, you know, going through all the usual rigmarole of like in his fucking shirt and all that, he looked so happy. I just got a really good feeling about him. Like he was finally where he wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? So you can almost write off a couple of the moves when he was younger because he was too young to go to Bayern. Definitely. Inter Milan, they were in a, you know what I mean, state of flux when he was there. They go through players like nobody's business anyway. And he'd done well at Stoke. So I think some people just fit somewhere. You know what I mean? And I just get a really good vibe about him. Fucking 10 minutes into his debut, he was scoring bicycle kicks. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't lack for ability. It's everything around it that I was concerned about. But he seems, very early days, and he hasn't played a competitive game, I get all that. But there just seems to be real positive signs coming from him, you know what I mean? So anyone who thinks he's only going to have 10 or 15 games this season, I think he could double that.
I think he has the absolute, like, he has impact written all over him. That's, you know, so impact sub is always in my head with regards to him because he's able to take the ball and run with it and stretch defences when they're tired. Grizz, I'm going to give you my midfield three for next Sunday. Presuming Milner is fit and ready to go, I'm going to go Milner, Keita, Wijnaldum. How do you feel about that?
You feel that you've just said my midfield, but go on, Grizz, you carry on.
No, that's what if that's the three you've said, I agree with you. I wasn't listening, I was filling me can.
What's the question?
I don't know, Grizz. I don't know, I forget.
Hang on, Grizz. Is Fekir starting on Sunday? For us?
Listen.
No, the question is, me and Ian reckon Milner, Keita, Wijnaldum. Was that something you go with, or are we changing?
Yeah, well, Milner's totally dependent on his state of his head, isn't
15 stitches, it's closed, his head's closed, it's grand.
Oh, is it okay, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, if Milner's fit, according to...
Irish lads have got a strange opinion when it comes to stitches and that, though, haven't they? I've seen that hailing, you crazy bastards.
What? It's not bleeding anymore, it's grand.
Yeah, but it only needs one kick.
Yeah.
I think he made me shout, you know.
You'll Terry Butcher the fuck out of a big bleeding. He'd be going around. Do you remember Rodney and Only Fools and Horses when Dell sends him down to sell the equestrian helmets with the fucking thing around the top of it?
Belfast.
Grizz's mates. Yeah, that's what he look like. Go on, Grizz.
Well, if Milner's fit, then he definitely starts, according to sort of his pre-season form. Now, I know I'm with you with Fabinho. He has looked a bit off the pace, but I actually thought
I think he's been excellent on the ball. I think he's been excellent on the ball.
No, I actually think against Napoli, he convinced me that he's going to start. I actually think he's going to start ahead of Wijnaldum. I thought he was much more the Fabinho. I think he was in tune with the team. His energy was high. The pressing was at the right time. I think Fabinho will start alongside Milner if he's fit, and Keita. I think that will be the midfield three. Now, the thing about it is, if Trent was starting, I would be happy with that midfield. But if Klein, because Klein's the more conservative fullback, just like Matt said, I would love Shaqiri in that midfield three. So if we had, let's just say let's say we had Keita and Fabinho holding, I would love to see Shaqiri in that 10 role against the weaker opposition. But I don't think we're quite going to go gung ho from the start. That may develop over the season, as Ian said. I don't want to take the credit away from Ian. Ian did say that Shaqiri will play a lot in that advanced role. I do agree, but I don't think we're going to go. I don't think we're going to go straight into it. I think we're going to just keep it basic. And the basics at the moment, the strongest midfield, in my opinion, will be Fabinho, Milner, and Keita.
Okay. Moving on again, Matt. A front three for Sunday. I think Salah and Mane are no problem at all. Firmino plays 45 minutes yesterday and he looked like he wasn't away. That's being honest with you. He was harrying, he was hassling, his touch was excellent. He was trying to get the two lads in all the time. Do you think that's our front three on Sunday, or do you think there might be a little alteration to it?
Studgy starts and he gets 2 goals.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, I'm only messing. Firmino, of course he does. It's the front three's the front three. That's never changing if we don't have to. Studge might come on 10 minutes to go, depending on how tired Firmino looks. Other than that, we go with it. Yeah, unless obviously Shaqiri doesn't play midfield, and then he could come on up there.
Yeah, I think the front three is our normal front three. Ian, would you agree?
Yeah, man. There's more chance of Grizz turning down at biryani than there is of Liverpool not starting out. You know what I mean? They're starting. The only reason he wouldn't start is if he looked off the boil, and by all accounts, he looked very good yesterday, Firmino.
He looked very good.
We'll have to see how Don Solanke does against Torino before we make any decisions.
Yeah.
That's our front three, like.
Yeah. Can you believe fucking your man Khabib in the UFC is taking on another fight to try to get Solanke's record again? They're both on 26-1 now at the minute.
Well, he's about to get bingo, so he'll be 26-2.
Yeah. Solanke will be down the pecking order again. Grizz, the front three is the front three, or do you reckon we might see something different?
Yeah, there's been a lot of clamour for Studge, isn't there? Mainly from Matt. But
no clamour here. He'll get us 10 goals. So
We'll discuss that later because the rest of the squad. But in terms of starting, I think if Fabinho looked slightly rusty, there would have been a case for maybe Sturridge or maybe
Sturridge
Dom.
doesn't play DM, you'd tit.
Who said DM?
You said Fabinho.
I said Firmino.
Didn't.
So why would I be fucking?
You didn't.
Cunt. This is me making a fucking proper point. Anyway,
It doesn't matter who you said.
Now go on, what?
Yeah, I will. It doesn't matter who you said because you call him one Fabinho and the other one Firmino. You get saying them both wrong like a fucking idiot. So it doesn't matter who you're saying.
Bobby.
Yeah, I'll have Bobby.
If Bobby looked a bit rusty off pace, because in seasons past he's come back from like his party shottying, like a bit overweight and whatnot.
Yeah, he was a bevy, doesn't he?
Yeah, but this time he's got a decent haircut, which I'm very grateful. It actually looks the best on him, and I think he's gone unnoticed in terms of everyone's looking forward to Mane being the star player, Salah, and obviously Keita. I think Bobby's going to have a fucking great season, lads. Honestly.
Well, if he puts in the season he puts in last season, he's 28 goals in all competitions. I'll take that all day.
Honestly, Gava, I think he's going to fucking do even better. I think Bobby is on the to me, he's already world class footballer, but I think he's just on the verge of being a world class striker now. Full stop. I think he starts, and. With Mane and Salah. I noticed a lot of interchanging against Napoli, though, which is a good sign. We weren't just sort of Mane, Bobby and Salah, sort of conventional Salah right, Mane left and Bobby. There was a lot of interchanging. Even when Shaqiri came on,
We've always done that.
Hey?
We've always done that. They always swap sides.
No, I saw a lot.
No, they haven't. Should they have in months?
No, they don't. They saw a lot of it this time. And even Shaqiri... Anyway,
knew you were going to say that. Come on, let Chris finish his 18-point plan. Come on.
Oh, it's getting boring, man.
No, I've done it.
Are you finished? Sure. Right. Well, let's get on to it, right. We picked the team, right. So the bench looks a lot stronger. Now you have to consider you have Lovren to come back, you have Henderson to come back. Who else is away? Is that it? Just them two. Yeah, because Firmino's back, Trent is back, but a lot's being made over this summer about our attacking options. I'll go on record. I've said it all summer. We need one more, and that's why I think Fekir will happen. But Matt, I'll come to you first, and I know I do know your answer already. But are you happy to go into next Sunday with, say, the likes of you're probably going to look at Sturridge on the bench, Shaqiri on the bench, maybe Solanke on the bench? Are you happy with that? And overall, are you confident enough that if this is how we are and this is how the squad is, we'll make it through this season with them lads? Throw Lallana in there.
Yeah, once we sign Fekir on Thursday, then the bench looks alright. The bench isn't too bad. The bench is sound. Like, I reckon Ox will be back in December. Lana will be in and out. Ox will be back in December. I bet he is. He won't. He's not missing the whole season. No way. Even the worst.
But December's not the whole season. You're saying he'll be back in halfway through. I reckon he'll be back March, April at best.
Even the worst ACL tears, which his didn't look it, they don't take that long. Not a chance. He'll be back before, because he was given the whole season. He'll be back well before that. I think he'll be back end of December. The bench is all right at the moment. Again, like last season, our midfield looked all right at one point, and then we got a few injuries and it didn't. It's one of them. You can always add quality. Obviously, if someone's available, I'll always take it. I'll take anyone. I'll add another 2 more strikers, 2 more centre mids, wherever you can. But at the moment, it doesn't look too bad going into the season.
Yeah, I still have worries over Sturridge. Don't get me wrong. I think if he stays fit, he's go back up. But it's the staying fit bit. You know, between him and Lallana, it's getting fucking stupid at this stage. And my call for one more needed, especially in attacking areas, just gets stronger and stronger every time I look at Lallana. and he disappears at the slightest fucking turn now at this stage. Ian, are you happy if we stay as we are with the squad we have, or do you think that there's one more needed, and if so, or two, or whatever? What do you think, and where do you think they're needed if needs be?
I would like another forward in the Fekir type. Do you know what I mean? But our squad is good, mate. But when you look under the surface, when you look at our substitute bench, it's potentially going to be Lallana, Matip, Sturridge. The three of them combined have spent more time on the treatment table than fucking Frankenstein's monster. Do you know what I mean? So if all three of those went down at the same time, then our squad looks completely different. Do you know what I mean? So it's all right. If Sturridge could stay fit, then I'd be fine. But history suggests that he just can't. He's going to pull a hamstring playing FIFA or something. Do you know what I mean? He will do it. So I think we need to replace. I think we need someone else up and around there. If he was to stay fit, if everyone was to stay fit, I'd be happy with our squad.
Okay, it's the if, isn't it? Grizz, for you, let's go when everybody's back. Just look at it in a context that everybody's back, everyone's ready to go, and we're starting the season on Sunday. Are you happy with the squad as it is? Is there any worries you have, and is there anything you would do?
For me,
Grizz.
Okay, yeah, sorry, lost connection there. I'm happy with the squad, but there's always, ideally, we always want more. It's natural, isn't it? If someone comes available in this last few days, then yes, we do need another forward. I'm not on this Sturridge hype train yet. He is going to break down. History tells us last 3-4 seasons, we just can't rely on him. To me, and it may sound harsh, but I'm just going to give my opinion as it is. To me, he looks like a 20-minute player. He can look absolutely brilliant for 20 minutes, but then his legs go. He's still probably the quickest, apart from Firmino, in it. But I don't think his body can just handle it. And it's understandable. The guy's been injured near enough every season for the last 3 seasons. And, I do think it's a mental thing with him now where he just doesn't trust his body to go up full out. And in a Klopp team, every player needs to be full out every time. Now, I get he has certain skills, a skill set that we could do with. Everyone's been saying, but we don't need to rely on him. I actually do, because the other option is young Dominic Solanke, who hasn't really impressed me as well. So
don't fucking go there, please.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I think we're lacking in just that position, that one position. Brewster's young. Again, we're waiting for him to get fully fit. He's an absolute beast of a talent. But, I honestly think Shaqiri. I know, Ian. Ian, you said you're talking about Shaqiri playing in the 10. I think Shaqiri now and again will play that false 9 role as well. Do you know that? So, because he did.
I'm not sure.
He's got that.
He can play that. Yeah, there's no issue for him covering for Bobby. No issue at all.
I think that's where we're gonna go with them front 4 rotating quite a bit. So I think that's the plan. Because unless, as Ian says, something comes up this week and we can strike a deal with Fekir and Leon, which at this stage looks unlikely. If we get Fekir, then we've had an absolute stunning window.
Okay, lads, a couple of predictions, right? We'll do them now before the season starts, and we go round. And we're going to go where our finishing position in the league this season.